All right, so on this segment of why men go their own way, we're going to be talking about the competition aspect. Now, I understand that this could be a Debbie Downer to those of who it relates to, but it is a part of it, so it has to be talked about. And I do know that there are going to be, women and, alpha males who watch this and well, when I probably like two people, but anyway, though they're going to have some really negative projections about it. So I'm going to, anytime I do a segment like this, I'm going to automatically play the the opposite end, whereas I give the reasons why in support of why somebody would make their decision. So um, a reason a guy would have a valid reason to go his own way solely due to competition. Let's say you're preparing for battle, right? Battle royale, every man for himself. And you train hard as you can. You know you're the best arrow person of all time. You got the quickest draw, the best aim, just all out. You got grenades on some of your arrows and they blow shit up when they hit them. You just the best arrowsmith of all time, right? But you get to the battlefield and you see niggas with tanks. They got snipers killing people with ease from distance. Ain't even got to be in the battlefield. They just, I mean, everything, your arrows blow up, but everything they got blows up, right? They might spit on you and it blow up. So you are just severely overwhelmed with your competition. Wouldn't it be a really valid point or reason to say, fuck this, I don't need what land we're fighting over. I was okay with the land I had. That's cool with me. I think so. If you're to get that land, the risk is anytime a risk severely outweighs a reward, you don't. It makes sense to opt out of that. It makes sense to do something else or go about that a totally different way. You know, and another example that I used to think about all the time and bring up is let's say, and this is not necessarily competition, but it does this point out the imbalance that may be within competition. I guess you would say. Let's say you're renting an apartment, right? And you realize that the other guy who's renting the apartment in the same complex, he doesn't have to pay his rent, right? They say, oh, he throws some amazing parties. He's an interesting person. He's good looking, whatever. He's a protector of the building, whatever, right? Which is valid. When you have so much to offer, sometimes people dismiss anything else you don't have to offer. And vice versa. When you don't have one particular thing to offer, you got to think of something else. I totally understand that reason. I say that all the time. But not only do you have to pay your rent, but you also got to be your own handyman. You got to take your own trash to the dump. You got to clean up what the mess that comes from the parties he throws and doesn't invite you to. You got to go so much farther beyond and still not get the full 100% whatever comes with that rent that comes with everybody else's. You don't get that, but you got to put in that work. Would it not make sense to move out of that apartment building, get something that may not be as nice? Hell, wouldn't it even make more sense if you got a plastic apartment or apartment doll? It's not a real apartment, but it has a roof, or is maybe the walls are plastic, but those walls don't have damage from the last guy. Wouldn't that be more feasible option than to put up with what you had to put up with that complex? Wouldn't it make more sense? That's just how I look at it. And I was watching this before I signed out. I was watching this one channel called C Boogie Productions, and he mentioned that guys who think a certain type of way, and I'm pretty sure it is something like this. I can't remember the video, so I won't link it. But he said it's a defeated mentality, and I don't see it that way. I don't think it's a defeated mentality. I think it's more so you realizing why it's not worth it. And people deem things not worthy all the time. But I think when dudes are MGTOW, go their own way, it's seen as a weakness, or you got the incels out there, so automatically they say every guy that goes MGTOW is like a loser or whatever. But it's just the easy way to pinpoint and put the blame on something without actually having to do any type of thinking. So again, I think opting out is a more than reasonable way to go. You disagree, let me know. Now, if you do agree, like the video, share it so other people see it. And I'm out.